Loyalty can't be one way for it to work. And I think that's where you kind of go wrong is you have one person that's loyal and the other one that's out here running the streets, right?
Your number could be up at any time.
Right, we need to find somebody cheaper, right?
We got a fresh batch who just graduated. I'm basically going to say it. Job hopping is... What up, Tech fam? It's JohnnieTech, and I'm here with my guy.
WillDoesTech. What's up?
And this is JustMyTechCents, where we talk tech, finance, and lifestyle.
JohnnieTech in the building. Talking lifestyle, talking tech, and talking finance.
There it is, man. Like
we here. Discipline.
All day, all day.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
I'm 1% better.
There we go. That's what I like to talk about. Getting one.
That might have been too loud. I'm 1% better.
He's catching up with it, man.
There
like, hey,
go.
we 1% better every day.
That's it.
The daily deposits.
That's it.
Man, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it, man. Since you're talking about 1% better every day, I had a post that I read. And I was like, man, I think Will would have some interesting, opinion about it.
Okay.
So it's on Reddit. It says, is company loyalty still worth it, or are we just signing up to be underpaid?
Okay.
Big statement there. So I'm gonna go ahead and read what they said.
Yep.
Genuine question. I've seen so many people stay loyal to companies for years, only to get tiny raises, watch new hires come in at higher salaries. Meanwhile, the ones who job hop every 1 to 2 years seem to have actually getting ahead financially. Is staying loyal even smart, or is it just a nice idea companies sell to us because it benefits them more than us? Would love to hear from people who stayed and people who hopped. Did loyalty actually pay off, or was moving the only real way to grow?
Okay. Yeah, I don't think loyalty. I think loyalty feels good, but as Chris Brown would say, these jobs ain't loyal, right?
Right.
Because I mean, they're not. It's a business transaction, and you are a number. And at the end of the day, if your number is called, there'll be no kind of emotion involved. Right. You'll get read a script, and then be like, "Hey, sorry, but it's business, right?"
Right.
So I don't think loyalty, again, I think it was a thing of the past, and when you have pensions and things like that,
okay, yep.
like it made sense, right? To stay with the company, to grow with the company. At the same time, the company at this point, let's say in 2026, it's an employer's market,
right? So
if they can get somebody for cheaper, then
that's
why
what
would
they're gonna do,
right?
So like, and what they're saying, I kind of like what they're inferring to is like I kind of see it kind of leans toward the fact that like they already know that people that are job hopping are kind of coming off ahead, it seems like. So I don't know what I would suggest, because I do kind of feel like loyalty is a good thing. But like in my experience, I learned at a young age that companies don't plan on being loyal to you. Yeah. And you hear the saying, it's just business. Yeah. And I think it's always just business when it comes to the company. But then I also think about the perception. Like when you job hop, they're looking like, they're looking at you under a microscope. But on the other end, they're like, it's just business.
Yeah, well, I mean, loyalty can't be one way for it to work. And I think that's where you kind of go wrong is you have one person that's loyal and the other one that's out here running the streets, right? and the person running the streets is the company, right?
Right.
They out here looking for new candidates.
Right, like, hey, man.
Right.
Your number could be up at any time.
Right, we need to find somebody cheaper, right?
We got a fresh batch who just graduated.
Right. So loyalty can't be one way. And I think in this day and age, people understand job hopping. And I think it's healthy to job hop because, as we talked about before in previous episodes, it's when you stay with a job for a long time, you learn a certain technology. And unless the company is growing, you may not be growing. Right. It might be old technology that you just are super good at, and you never really grow outside of that. So that loyalty, let's say 20 years from now, or 26 years from now, could put you in a bad situation because you stay loyal to a company and you're familiar with old technology or old ways of doing things. Right. So I think from that standpoint, when you talk about employers or hiring boards saying, well, you only worked there 2 years. Yeah, I learned Splunk. I learned all that I needed to really learn. I grew, and now it's time to grow elsewhere. Right. That is the reason that you job hop, in addition to the money aspect.
Right, and I think the money aspect is a big thing as well, right? So like, I'm basically gonna say it. Job hopping is better. but I think there's a way to do it.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of pros. There's a lot of cons that come with job hopping. So I feel like the perception of it is a real thing. So like if you're job hopping and your resume has all these, you only been here for 1 year or 6 months and things like that.
Yeah.
I definitely think that can be an issue. But at the same time, if you do it correctly, I don't think you should have that many gaps, but you probably should be doing different roles. Like I would even say job hopping is not necessarily leaving the company, but you should be looking to improve, what you're doing. So like if you were a tier 1 analyst, you should be trying to be a tier 2 analyst.
Right.
And if your company is not, if you have the skills to be a tier 2 analyst, you have to job hop. Like if your company's not going to give you the opportunity to do it.
Right.
So, I think that's the way to do it. Now, if you just leaving like, oh, they offer me $5,000 more to do a lateral move, I think that's where, that's not beneficial to job hop that way. But
it's not beneficial to who?
I think that will eventually, because you're not getting any new skills either.
Yeah, but you're getting more money.
You're getting more money, but making lateral movements. But at the time, that's where if I was going to tell people to job hop, I would say do not job hop laterally. Like make sure you're getting new skills.
Yeah.
And like, cause the money is one thing, but like, would you rather say move laterally and get a 5K jump because you're not getting any new skills, or would you want to move ahead and actually get a bigger pay jump?
But you don't know if you're going to get additional skill by moving laterally to a different company. The way that they do business might be different than the way that
that's true.
They did business at your former place of employment, right? So it's like you might actually still learn, grow from this lateral position, and you're getting 5K more.
But it all depends. I feel like,
and then
because that perception is out there, you want to make sure when you are jumping that you're doing it for something that is going to be very beneficial for you.
Money is beneficial in a business transaction. So I would also say you got to look at the company, right? If you're going from a small company to a Microsoft, but you're jumping laterally, are you saying don't do that?
I'm not saying don't do that, because like there's benefits that come with that as well.
Right.
So like, yeah. So I agree with what you're saying, but I still think that there is a way to do it. And like the way if I throughout my career, like I think I work different places. I haven't moved that much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I'm looking at how does it benefit me? What skills am I going to pick up? I'm always doing continuous learning. So like if all the skills that I've been working on, can I go to the next place and actually put those things to use? Yeah.
Yeah. And that makes me think of, so I had I'm not going to call it a job interview, but I had a discussion with, we'll call it a job interview because it was a job interview.
Right.
And the only reason that I even entertained the job interview was because the progressive part of it, wanting to learn other technologies and be in a situation where I had to exercise that muscle as far as cloud technologies. Right. So that's the only reason that I really entertained it. And the way that this came about, because I didn't even apply for the job.
Right.
It was, I told you a while back, a few episodes ago, that I was sent this email that
we thought was a scam, and it was real.
Well, I didn't think it was a scam. I just thought they sent it to the wrong person. Where
it was a scam, yeah.
Where I ended up being fired by this company that I didn't even work for.
Right.
But I replied back to them and let them know that they had the wrong person along with my resume. Just to put it out there, right? I mean, just hey, you got the wrong person.
Let this guy go.
But hey, but just in case, right? And a month later, they actually emailed me back and they wanted to interview me for this position. And we talked, and the beautiful thing is, I'm gonna knock out two birds, one stone here. One, when it comes to this whole, would you rather work for 120K, 240K? Again, I am a living witness, walking testimony. When it comes to that, I am willing to take the 120K remote over the 240K on site. And when I started the conversation with this gentleman, he explained kind of the company and said, hey, before we get started, right, I want you to know that I am extremely happy at my place of work.
Right.
I work fully remote. I make this much money. Before we get started, I'm not trying to be rude, but I want to waste your time.
Right.
I don't want to waste my time. How much are we talking? right?
Right,
What is the minimum? What's the max, right? And
Right.
he said the minimum was 210.
Okay.
And I said, well, what's
When
the
do you
max? No. So we proceeded with the interview, right?
Right.
Just based on that, because he told me the min, he didn't tell me the max.
Right.
But knowing that the min is 210, it's like I'm willing to hear you out. At the
Right.
same time, I love what I'm doing. I love my place of work. I love the work culture. At the same time, I do also understand that this is a business for
Right.
my company, my place of work. It's also a business for me too.
Right.
And listening to other offers isn't a bad thing. But as I was talking to the gentleman, my thing was, okay, what would I be doing on the day to day? Yeah, the money would be obviously
Sounds
great.
Good. Right.
But the quality of life, now I'd have to commute. I'd have to actually, put like real clothes on.
Right.
I have to, fuel my car up. There's so much that comes with going into the office. Not saying that I can't do it because I did it for so long.
Right.
At the same time, when you get that taste of being remote and the different quality of life, like you're going to pay for that. And that's kind of what I said was, I just want you to know, here's where I'm at.
Right.
And I have no desire to leave my job.
Right.
What are you going to do to make me, want to take this job, right? And he's like, no, I understand, I get it. He asked me about my qualifications, my certifications.
Right.
Asked if my certifications were still active. I told him yeah, and then he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna talk to these people, and we will, decide whether or not we're proceeding forward or not. I could care, it doesn't matter. But I say that to say, the only reason that I would go on site is one, the money was just too good that I couldn't turn down.
Right.
And then two, that I was actually learning something that I could leverage later on. So I think the job hopping piece, right, to learn something new that I'm not doing in my current job because we just don't need to do that.
Right.
They're not going to pay for that.
And I think that's the big piece of it, because like even like when you're doing the continuous learning that I'm always talking about, we're always talking about, is like it's still different when you get to do it on the job.
Yeah.
You get the enterprise experience. It's levels. So taking that into consideration, I feel like that's when you make these moves. Like I don't feel like even so me, I don't think it's a lateral move if you are because I think if you're making the same salary but you get to do something better. Yeah. I would take that in consideration too. Yeah. But so I'm saying when you're jumping, like don't just jump ship. You say like, oh, they're going to pay more. Yeah. But the duties could be less. Something could be different to where are you getting better? As long as you're getting better through these moves, then you got to do that. But also you got to have some loyalty in the sense of you got to have in the back of your mind, like if I keep making too many jumps, I'm gonna look bad.
Loyalty to who though? And I think that's where I'm going back to, like loyalty to yourself, right?
Because you have loyalty to yourself, but you have to the way I look at it is I'm gonna understand the perception, right? So people are going to, and I don't think they care as much as like they used to, and they understand that. But I'm always in the back of my mind, it's like, okay, I want to make sure that one at a standpoint they're gonna look at like he's just coming in, he's just like a mercenary in the sense of like he's coming in, doing something, and then you're getting out. Yeah, I want to be more like. Because especially when you get into certain levels of your career, so like the beginning level of your career where you're mostly doing task-based work, you can jump around a lot more. But when you get a little bit further, it's like he's not even finishing his projects. So if you leave him too early, you might not even be able to finish. Like you can't. How much have you accomplished in that time? So I think people who are experienced are gonna realize like he was only there for 6 months. He didn't get anything done.
6 months is one thing, right? So.
He's like, he was fired.
Right. 6 months is one thing.
Right.
So I've asked that question when I've seen like those jumps, like a year, So what happened here?
Right.
And if there's a good explanation, then it's easy to accept.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
I'm gonna ask the question, but at the same time, it's like, okay, why did you feel the need to do this? And if they give me growth, if they give me financially, I think the financial piece would kind of like be like, hey, so if we how much do we need to give you in order for you to actually stay here for longer than a year, right?
Exactly.
So there's that piece, but I think so. Let's take it to 2026 and job hopping. Would I recommend job hopping in 2026? And I would say no. And I'm not saying be loyal to the company. You're not loyal to the company. It's just when you are new to a company, if the ship is sinking, that's one thing, right?
Right.
Get off the ship, right?
Right. You gotta go.
If you're on the Titanic and you already know that this thing's about to hit the iceberg, you need to find a boat, another boat, right?
Right.
But if you're just at this company, like, you know, you get antsy, you want to grow, it's like you just never know nowadays. Again, you're the new person on the block, and you know they're trying to cut people.
Yeah, so it's a different market right
it's
now.
Different.
So, yeah,
it's different. So in 2026, I wouldn't recommend job hopping at this point in time. However, if you got it like that, then go for it. I mean, if you really got it like that, and you know you got it like that, then go for it. But if you don't, like, self-awareness is.
And that's the thing too. Like, definitely self-awareness. And I think that, like, what you mentioned earlier is like, I think people know the playbook of what to say when you're doing this job hopping, like, oh, it's for growth. But then when you're saying that you're doing this for growth, and then you get in the building, and you don't know all the things, like if you have oversold yourself to make these jumps, I think that could be a thing too. So it's like, I think just the eye will be on you a little bit more. So you got to be prepared for those things as well. Yeah. So, but definitely invest in yourself, and it's all about you at the end of the day, because the companies are doing what's best for them. You got to do what's best for you.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Well, what are your thoughts? This is just our Tech Sense. I'm WillDoesTech.
JohnnieTech.
And we'll talk to y'all later.